Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of Tawagoto Café. This is being recorded back to back with the previous one. We are still live. Seinley has gone to sleep at this point because we actually are not gonna be able to do like a three-person stream like last time. But here is our guest, Goro Canada. Do your Chico show, please.
はい、寝ても覚めてもゴロロンド夢中にさせちゃうぞ。ゴロロンことカニダゴロです。はい、
That's a new
apologies
spiel. That's a new spiel.
apologies in advance to Kashiwagi Yuki for stealing her intro because this is her intro.
This is Kashua Yuki's intro. Okay.
Yeah, her intro is 寝ても覚めてもゆきりんワンダ夢中にさせちゃうぞ。ゆきりんことKashiwagi Yuki です。
Okay, so this is a
Please
good.
don't sue.
Yeah, this is a good intro to start with because this is essentially a continuation of the previous recording, because we did just talk about a bunch of like songs we like this year, and we discussed four. If I'm repeating myself, I'm freaking mistake. Okay, it's that time of the night already. This is whenever we usually record these things. We always record these podcast things really late at night. Kind of sells a little bit of the brain deadness in them. How are you doing, Goro?
Well, for the past few days, I've been doing surgeries on PS2s.
Oh right, yeah. Future Denryu put in the RIP PS2 tweet that Goro made.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing surgeries on PS2s. Mainly because, okay, so context, yeah. Like I said, my PS2 motherboard died. But I did not know until I got the other fat PS2 that was being sold for parts. So context is,
You've been having technical problems with your streams.
Hmm?
You've
yeah.
been having technical problems with your streams. You figured out that there was something going wrong with the connection side of the video output.
Yes. My original thought after confirming with our TV outside, it was my display here. But apparently it wasn't. It probably was my PS2. It was probably sign that the motherboard was dying or something. But other than that, I wanted to make the optical drive work again because probably maybe about a year ago, I did a cleanup job on the internals of the PS2. Mainly because I also needed to replace the CMOS battery. Okay, so I did a cleanup job, but for the life of me, I cannot properly connect the ribbon cable for the optical drive until I saw a proper disassembly video, and apparently I was doing it wrong. So, with some free time on my hands, I tried connecting the ribbon cable again. But apparently in the process of trying to connect those ribbon cables again, one, I probably caused some unwanted static and my motherboard probably got fried in the process. And two, the ribbon cable for the power switch got eroded. Actually, the power switch was eroded first before I found out that the motherboard was dead. Okay, so yeah, the motherboard was dead. Motherboard was dead. So yeah, the power switch ribbon cable was eroded. So I was searching in Facebook Marketplace for some PS2s being sold for parts. I found one for a bargain, 600 pesos, which is approximately 50 pesos is $1. 100 is $2.
Mhm.
100, 200, $1, so $2. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So probably $12. 12 US dollars. Imagine how big of a bargain that was. The issue with that one, that's why it was being sold for parts, is it wasn't powering on. But when I plugged it in, when it came here, it was powering on properly. There was audio, but there was no video. So my guess there, the motherboard for that one is that it's probably some of the video connectors got warped. But anyway, So what I did with that one sold for parts, I took the ribbon cable from that one and transferred it to my PS2. And that's when I found out that the motherboard is dead. It wasn't powering on at all.
Oh,
It,
you figured out that because you knew that the wire was working.
yeah, I confirmed it by swapping power supplies and even trying out the power supply from my PS2 on the other one. So yeah, it's pretty much confirmed that yes, my PS2 is dead. Well,
It
the
was the
motherboard.
motherboard that was then.
Yes. So RIP SCPH 30,001 RPST 2011 to 2020. No, 2010 to 2021.
I've had to do uh an RIP segment for the previous video too. Oh yeah. By the way, episode 8 of this is supposed to have already come out by the time this is going to come out. And in it, Ralphinium and I basically were discussing like Museka and how dead it is.
And I should have joined that one.
No, that was recorded in like 2020, so that's fine.
Okay.
That's way before any of this. Before we continue with the proper bit of the show, let me formally announce this. I guess this. I don't know if this should be its own like video or anything, but yes, Goro is now one of the third official member of Team 8 Dimension. And so
Yeah.
you will be basically seeing a bunch more of Goro's content being added to the 8 dimensional space playlist because Goro has his own YouTube channel. So recently he made bread.
Yep. Bread. I made bread.
And that's pretty much it. I think the VOD of that though is on Twitch, so that's gonna be a bit of a thing. If you have access to the VOD, you can send it to me. I guess because we can like get some parts of it
Okay,
for
sure.
a highlights thing. Okay, so you wanted to talk about mostly because I think I've discussed some of the stuff that I like about music in the previous episode with Sele. So I'm going to be doing yours in this one. I'll note that. Do you see the virtual camera, Goro,
Uh, Let me just
in
switch
on
over.
Discord? Because
There
here
we
I'm
go.
going to be loading up
Okay,
Nemohamo
I'm
Rumor.
seeing.
But this is the dance version of the music video because it doesn't cut off immediately. And I think this highlights one of the biggest things that are the biggest deal about this song specifically is that this was being promoted as having like this insane dance routine.
Hmm.
That is an
The promo. Okay, go.
yeah. Let me. I'll let you do it because this is your segment.
Okay. So yeah, most of the promotion for Nemohamo Rumor before the official release of the single was that there were groups dancing to it. There were high school students, some other dance groups. Yeah, they were pretty much doing the dance to the new song. That was pretty much most of the promotion of it. If you can see it there is hashtag lockdance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that is English or that was the actual hashtag, but yeah, the promotion for this was that
I actually don't know what it is.
people
Maybe
then.
let's click on it actually because I don't know what exactly videos under hashtag lock dance here. Oh no, it doesn't necessarily take you to videos about Nemohamo Rumor
Oh,
specifically.
oh wait, no, most of it is shuffle and oh yeah, because one of the key moves for the chorus for Nemohamo Rumor is a which away, which was a hip hop move.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was one of the things they were promoting.
There's also Doerai dance, which is I don't know what that is. Doerai dance. Is that, no, this is specifically about Nemohamo Rumor.
They also they also promoted this on TikTok, but they did a Kantan version of it, which is they were just doing hand gestures for it.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much they changed the way they promote their singles, I think, in light of,
Well,
2020 and 2021.
yeah. I actually thought that was what lock dance meant. I initially thought that the hashtag was specifically like lockdown dance because I
Yeah.
knew that around the time of the like Olympics and a bit more, like there were a bunch of states of emergencies declared throughout Japan.
Hmm.
So I thought that was what it meant.
The the one other thing about the single is this is the single that got released after Minigishi Minami's graduation.
Mhm.
Basically, after the last of the first generation graduated. So there are no more first gen members in there.
In
The
AKB at
only
this point.
remain oh, what else? Some months after the release of the single, two members and actually a lot of members announced graduation. Uh, two, two, both Yokoyama Yuis. There are actually two of them. One is in Team 8, the other is in AKB proper. Uh, who else? Oya Shizuka also announced graduation, which is I'm surprised because I thought she already graduated.
I I'm not sure actually how to approach this because I don't really know much about this specific group. So I'd like to be able to
Hmm.
get some of this information presented in a way that's like more friendly to beginners of 48 Otaku.
Okay. So Oya Shizuka was I forgot what generation she was, but she's also one of the older members. Oya Shizuka and also Miyazaki Miho. They all recently announced not recently, probably maybe around October, November, they announced their graduations.
Mhm.
Hmm. But they haven't been in the spotlight much lately, so it's understandable why they announced their graduation at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the only older members that's getting more publicity recently is Kashiwagi Yuki because she also signed in with WAC and did some singles with some of the acts under WAC.
So what label is this?
WAC.
Is this another major label in Japan?
I think. WAC. WACK. The producer was, if I recall, Jonosuke Watanabe.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I mean, I can look that up.
I don't know much about WAC. I did not follow much of the acts under there.
Oh, okay. This is it's Watanabe's label.
Mm.
Associated acts, current acts, BIS. Oh, interesting. But otherwise, and I know the end. I actually that's pretty much the only artist that I know from them for now.
You're, uh, you probably see some Kashiwagi Yuki mentioned somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah. Keep. Yeah. So, what exactly do you find that you really liked about this song that would make it so that this is like one of the highlights of your year?
Mainly because one, it's a single that they released a year after the previous one, Shitsune Arigato.
Mhm.
Normally, AKB would have some seasonal singles, mainly summer and winter, but this one, it took a while before they released another. They significantly slowed down.
Oh, this is interesting. Just like she's Kashiwagi Yuki is like active both in WAC and in AKB, which is something that I was not expecting to see because I thought that AKB idols actually didn't really do much outside of their own units.
I think I think they're allowed to perform with people outside with probably management's permission.
Mhm.
I mean, Kashiwagi Yuki is a third gen member and a popular one at that. So, you know,
Mhm.
she's got the management side on her.
That's actually. I actually listened to some of this song because out of the two songs that you sent me for not really submission but for quote unquote review in this episode of the show. Like, something about this really immediately caught my attention as a song, and like I couldn't put the finger of what it was, but it's definitely up there in terms of like mainstream leaning uh, idol group songs. So this gets a big approval from you as well. I really like the song.
Which one?
Nemohamo Rumor.
Okay. And it's also it feels like a big departure from what AKB usually makes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. But then again, AKB frequently does do songs like this every once in a while. Like it's not that,
Decent.
it's not like AKB's sound is like monolithic, especially for a group with such a long history as them to begin with. Sorry.
Case in point, teacher.
Yeah, and this is like 50. It says 58 single on here. Yeah, that what group can boast of a longevity that long, especially for like a rotating member kind of group thing.
Meanwhile,
MNL48 just announced their seventh single, No Way Man.
Wait, no.
Actually, people already had a feeling it was No Way Man
You did
long ago.
because you did mention that it has to be like No Way Man.
Oh,
Surprise or
because
not, yeah.
they started going up around High Tension, followed it up with River, and your only choices for there are the dance heavy tracks, either Ruza or No Way Man. And they chose No Way Man. Or Teacher. Provided they can get past the censors.
I'm pretty sure they won't.
This
I'm pretty sure. You also mentioned that the B side could probably be Kokoro no Placard.
I wish
they apparently
that
already
B-side
performed
could
it
be-
somewhere.
Oh yeah, they already performed it on their first concert. I can only wish that it was Kokoro no Placard, or at least any of the songs that they've already performed. But yeah, we'll only wait.
Okay, so
can only
it's
wait.
announced, and then we don't know how long it actually will take for this to get released.
Yeah, they're projecting somewhere around 2022.
First quarter.
Just somewhere around 2022. We can hope it's first quarter.
That's if it weren't for the fact that what's it called? Baby Blue just released a song very recently, then I think that when are we gonna get like a new MNL48 proper release? I mean, Filipinos be like that. They usually do deal with like singles. I think, but then again, I think that's a good move overall. I think it's fine that most companies just don't give are not forced to do an album like once a year or something like that.
AKB groups rarely, if ever, have any albums. I mean, AKB's albums you can count with probably one hand.
And
maybe
most of them
two.
are likely just compilation albums.
Wait. And oh yeah, in other 48 news, SGO48 disbanded. That's December 22.
This is last week, so okay. SGO48. What group is this? Singapore?
SGO48 is based in Saigon.
Saigon 48.
Oh.
So the Vietnamese 48.
Yeah, SGO. Yeah, they disbanded probably because COVID.
Oh yeah,
Did the number.
they've had for the longest time I thought Vietnam actually had the pandemic under control, and then they just had to have an outbreak. That was very unfortunate for them.
Yeah,
actually.
pretty much things are looking dim for Southeast Asian 48G groups, except for probably JKT48 because they've been here a while.
Oh, JKT is not gonna go away. I don't think JKT is gonna go away. Or BKK48, I think, if that's the name of them.
Oh, BNK.
BNK
Yeah, because Izutarine is there.
The culture in both of those countries is very, very strongly leaning towards that. I think those groups will survive at least.
Yeah. The what management could have done with MNL is had a Kaigai member in doing some management work for MNL. But nope, they did not.
That's interesting because like I mean I think I showed you this because I remember sending you a link to a video for another new girl group that was being trained by Shobidi. So I think that's an example of, oh hey, let's get a producer from overseas doing handling management for a group that is locally based but also representing a foreign company, which is interesting.
Yeah, the problem why Bernalosum is getting hands off with their management of 48G groups is because of NGT48. It's so it's mainly because of that.
Of NGT48, yeah, okay.
Yeah, remember that incident last 2018 and the whole mess it caused.
Um, I don't remember that much of it because the only thing I know about it is what you've told me.
Okay, so yeah, context. 28, somewhere around 2018, an NGT member got assaulted, and I think she was forced to keep mum about it because apparently it allegedly it involved some NGT48 members. But yeah, it was a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, management forced her to apologize for being assaulted was how it looked. And yeah, after that, they just went hands off.
I don't know
And
what that has to do with them handling overseas 48G crews, but yeah, I think they've mostly Vernalosa, or at least the Japanese side of things, did sort of like go hands off on.
yeah, NMB is managed still managed by Yoshimoto. AKB48 is handled by a subsidiary, I think called DH. I forgot what SKE was managing SKE. But as for what Bernalosum is directly managing, it's NGT and STU.
Just them at this point. Okay.
And I forgot if I think HKT is being handled by a different company also. And yeah, NGT SU. And I think they're also handling the Sakamichi groups.
Kamichi groups. As far as I know, all the Chinese groups are independent now.
Yeah, Chinese groups are independent at this point. SNH48.
Yeah.
They're no longer officially part of the 48G. Right after, what happened there was, okay, so there was SNH48, but then they made another group without AKS's permission, BEJ48.
Mm.
So it was a breach of contract. So yeah, they only after that they split and established Team SH.
Yeah, because I know they're called Team SH now.
Team SH and Team TP for Type A. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the mess that is the 48 groups.
And this is what Goro has to deal with for being directly involved in being an 40G otaku in general. Not just for AKB, but for everything. For
I wouldn't call
everything.
myself I wouldn't call myself a total otaku, maybe casual fan.
Yeah, casual. Well, it's slightly above casual fan because you already know
Yes,
about.
slightly above. Yeah, because I already know I know a bunch and memorize some of the members' faces. Mostly some of the first gen.
And you actually
And
follow content that is not just the music.
yeah, and pretty much I went through their backlog.
Yeah. You did go through all of them, which I haven't finished doing that for Eyes One. Geez, I totally forgot about that one. No, that's a Korean group, but that's a different story. I just remembered that.
Eyes One is basically co-produced by AKS and foreign agency in Korea.
Yeah, that's why it's like it kind of like tangented there in my brain. But yeah, okay. I think we can move to the next one. This is another group that you've been really into. You can also introduce them real quick. This is Ikoro. Sorry,
Oh dear.
that has its audio on. That's not supposed to happen because I'm gonna have to mute that in the in post, whatever.
Oh, okay, I will have to admit, I do not know the names of the members yet. The only thing I know about Ecolab and Not Equal Me or Noimi is it's produced by Sashihara Rino, who was a former HKT48 general manager.
Hmm.
Okay, so Sashihara Rino's story is, yeah, she was a member of AKB48, but after a scandal, she got moved to HKT48 and she trained the members there, and she
Hmm.
also became the general manager of the theater. And eventually, she ended up there producing her own idol group. Well, two.
Two of them, yeah.
There's a third one in the works.
Oh,
Oh,
there's a
what's
third
partic-
one. Okay, that's really interesting, because
Yeah,
I know about no how do you pronounce the name? Noyemi.
not equal me or no me.
Okay, not equal
Uh,
me. Okay, so Noyemi. Okay,
yes.
and then equal
Okay.
love, which is this one.
Hmm. So, what's particular about is this weekend? This is weekend Citron.
Wicked Citron, yeah.
Okay. The particular thing about this one is same as Shukipi. The
I have.
MVs are both produced by Minegishi Minami, who I just mentioned earlier was a recent AKB graduate.
It produced by them. As in, actually, like the song was produced by them.
Wait, no, sorry. She directed the MV.
Oh, DMV. Okay.
Yeah, she directed both MVs for Shukipi and Weekend Citron. So yeah, I think judging by what Minegishi is doing, she might be she might probably be better off doing backstage work. Well, backstage, I mean directing and producing.
Yeah, I think, but then again, that's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to like idols, like especially for idols in their late stage of their careers, because them moving from a performer to a producing role is very much not unheard of in any entertainment industry, and it's it's not necessarily a natural progression per se, but people who continue to be involved in the industry, quote unquote, backstage is definitely a thing to be noticed as well.
Not gonna lie though, regarding Kashiwagi Yuki, she has been in AKB for a while, and I have a conspiracy theory at this point that she's holding off on her graduation until Watanabe Mayu can return to the entertainment industry, or at least agree to appear in probably her graduation concert if she will have one.
Hmm.
Because Watanabe Mayu last 2019 announced her retirement from the entertainment industry. But some fans have been speculating that it was probably a dispute between her and her management, or her agency rather. Yeah, okay. So the details on that one is the speculation was that Watanabe wanted to do plays, something like uh, something like Broadway musicals, or but her agency wanted her to do dramas because money.
It is the more profitable enterprise for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, she just rage quit. Probably. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Big
Mm.
allegedly. This is an opinion piece. We cannot claim to actually like present absolute fact.
Facts.
We always have the disclaimer at the beginning of each episode for this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is alleged information. This song, and actually this, like, there's been a trend that I've been noticing, especially recently, in specifically this year, in terms of Japanese idol pop sometimes turning towards the sounds between this and Korean production styles are starting to blur. Even though it's, for example, like even though for some unseasoned listeners, this song "We Can Citron" can sound like a K-pop song. It to me it does sound very distinctly Japanese in a way that this synth preset is only a thing that Japanese producers would use, kind of thing. Like there's specific, not really nuances, not just nuances. There's specific production choices that to me code it as being Japanese, and it reminds me of a thing that Seilei said. Because at one
But
time, sorry, what?
no, what was it? What Saley said?
So I was doing a thing because this was around the time, this was earlier this year when the there's a Korean group called Dreamcatcher, and they released an album February of this year, and one of the songs in it was a straight up rocks song, which many people compared to like an anime opening, and that was around the time that I was also like there was discussions concerning uh a specific visual novel in the Discord server, and that specific visual novel was Subarashiki Hibi, Wonderful Every Day, which if you want to check that out, please do note that it has like several content warnings on it before you do check it out. But otherwise, yeah, the opening to that to me sounded very similar to that of the song that I was telling him about. And so what I did was I spliced the opening visuals of that visual novel to the song. And that song is called New Days by Dreamcatcher. And what Seilei said about it was something that's completely like struck me, because I didn't know to take note of this before. Because apparently Japanese eroge music producers have a very specific guitar tone. And I immediately knew to take his word for it because he has been listening to that stuff for decades at this point. And I realized what it was because Seilei also provided examples of the work of producer Shade. I think the producer's name is called Shade. And Shade's specific guitar tone is very distinctive, and I realized, oh, this is the Japanese eroge of theme song guitar. And,
That is oddly interesting.
yeah, so now I realize that, oh, so like it, even though Staley barely knows anything about Dreamcatcher, when I made him listen to that song, he immediately knows, oh, that's a Korean because that's a Korean guitar tone. Like how do you
How?
know that? Because I know what a Japanese guitar tone sounds like, and it's not that. It's like that's interesting that Siri can tell that apart, and I realized that, oh wait, this is the same guitar tone that shows up in like Glory Day from DJ Max, and I'm like, oh, I see. So I think there's like a cross cultural thing that's like what, even the things as minute as what settings do you put your amp in, it apparently is like calling cards for specific kinds of production that are unique to each side of media, for whether it is like Korean music or Japanese music. And it's like really interesting for me to have seen that.
Yeah, I think I probably noticed this with some J reggae songs. Yeah, there's a certain pattern to them, J reggae, that's different from what is traditionally reggae.
Mm-hmm.
Although my base comparison is Endless Summer Story in Bitmania 2DX.
Yeah, okay. There's also a thing that I need to look into. There's also a thing that I need to look into with regards to Japanese composers and their tendency to overuse a certain rhythmic pattern in terms of their vocals. I don't think I can demonstrate this without playing copyrighted music, so I might just do that off stream. But essentially, some producers tend to have a tendency to use a specific rhythmic pattern in. I'm not sure if it's just idol songs or anything that requires rapping, but once you hear it, you cannot only hear it whenever you notice that in the song. It's not a melody, it's a rhythm.
I I don't know if I notice any of that,
It's
to be
the
honest.
something rhythm. I need to figure out if that pattern shows up in more songs than this, because it's like, I don't know. It being in two songs is just coincidence, but if it being in like five isn't. So I need more examples of it if you can figure out what I'm talking about. I know Japanese classical music has a cliche in the form of the what's called the King's Road chord progression, which most people know from that one song in Yakuza.
I cannot overstate how common this chord progression is in J-pop.
This reminds me of another story entirely. Of I don't know how this happened. I actually want to know the story behind why the heck this exists,
What?
because I know that, for example, like if you're familiar with like Chunin,
What?
uh,
What exists?
then you know that there's a group called Irodori Midori, and sometimes they do covers of songs from Chunin, and that's what.
Hmm.
But but this is not about that. This is adjacent to it, because this song also is in Chunin, but there is that one incident of that one idol group. I think you showed me this, that
Hmm.
their song sounds identical in melody and contour to Freedom Dive by Psy.
Oh, they did a. Oh yeah, I remember. They did a vocal version of it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a thing that was like intentional or not. And I know that this got so much traction that the band removed the song from distribution, or at least the music video from YouTube. And now it kind of feels like I've Mandela affected myself into it. Like I'm not sure if that actually like exists anymore or not.
Well, you can always search the internet.
Get down, you little flower, the fool of the desolate kimochi. 二人で一緒にね、もう winter rain. あなただけ見
Yes,
つ
I
め
have
て、
to read that.
私だけ見つめて、明日を誓う。きっと高め燃える恋の頃、激しく舞い散る勇気に包まれて、永遠に愛してる、今日より愛してる。
Too bad I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I can do that with this specific setup.
My God, we are old.
We are old enough to remember GEDDAN. That was such an
Oh, wait.
interesting like sidekick.
Oh wait, no, I'm old. I'm older.
Yeah, you're older than me, but I was still old enough to remember GEDDAN.
Hmm.
Even though I wasn't steeped in the Nico Nico culture where it became famous. It got osmosis to me via YouTube, via Toho.
For me, I knew it via TV tropes when they were showing. There was this entry about game bugs. I think it was Good Bad Bug.
Mhm.
Basically, that Gedan is what happens when you're playing GoldenEye 64, and then you remove the cartridge.
So there actually was a. Okay. So, I know the meme. I just didn't know what the source of it was, except like, how the heck did this person somehow think to use the glitched footage from GoldenEye and then pair it to a relatively, I'm not sure how famous Komi Hirose song.
Hirose is famous around Japan. She's pretty much considered the winter queen there.
No, specifically that song. The song Promise. Because I know the artist is very famous.
Yeah. What was it? Oh yeah, when you remove Golden Eye, when you remove the cartridge, yeah, the models just start spazzing out. But apparently, you can achieve the same effect in emulators with a corrupted save state. I don't know how.
Do I want
I
to?
don't.
Do I want to look? Do I want to look that up? Okay. Hold on a second.
Go ahead. Feel free.
Okay, I mean, the one that really got to me at the time, because the current meme of the time was Red Zone, and Red Zone being used in automats for everything.
Yeah, Red Zone was the caramel dancing of that time. Well, caramel dancing is still the caramel dancing of that time.
GEDDAN. Okay. GEDDAN GoldenEye Chaos Carnival. What's this? The sound is muted. I can't play the sounds because. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I can show this. Let's see if I can like show this to the chat. There we go. Ta-da. The it's in 4:3, so some of it's showing up, but here it is. And then the model just starts. Oh wait, wait. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the start of it.
And it just abruptly also goes back to what it was. Okay.
Wait, watch at the bit where it gets to the credit screen.
The what?
Just keep watching. Just watch it for this.
Oh god, this is how. Okay, the helicopter. Is it specific to the Japanese version of GoldenEye 2, or is it just?
I think it's just the Japanese version of the GoldenEye. Or I don't know. Maybe it works for others. Yeah, that one. Just watch.
James, buti data no ne. Natari Bond. And then it. Okay, credit screen.
Wait.
And then you can.
Yeah.
There. It. How can you like? People figured out how to exactly trigger that bug in this exact specific time where it's like needed.
Basically, yeah, you just need to remove the cartridge or, yeah, corrupt the save state.
Oh, okay. So how the heck did whoever made this meme think to use this specific song? It's just like random things, right? Yeah.
Hmm?
I'm going
No,
to.
it's-
I might have to like replay. Because like this video was copyright flag.
By the way-
We'll see what happens in post. If I have to like edit this part to remove it, we'll see.
By the way, Komi Hirose made the 2016 remaster of Promise. But this time it's mostly just instruments. It doesn't have a dance beat. Basically, it's just mostly guitars and her vocals.
Yeah. Promise 2016. Okay.
Yeah, 2016 or was it 2017? I know she made the remaster of Romance no Kami-sama, which is pretty much the very
2016.
song she
Oh
was
yeah,
known for.
I also can't like play this without, because this is the actual track, and if I play this, I will get flagged.
Yep.
Oh well, that's an interesting thing. Way to end the stream with basically chaos. I'm going to do it by doing this. Oh, let this go. Yeah, you did
Okay.
this. Okay, but here's the thing. Yours has a video. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, but that's bugging out right now because Twitch and its authentication API is just balls.
Well,
I,
it had to like be more strict nowadays. So, I think
yeah, I
pretty
might
much now.
need to work. I might need to do something working on that. But moving on,
PS2.
that yeah,
Uh,
the PS2 surgeries I did. Okay, so yeah, pretty much I have one dead PS2 and another dead PS2, but semi-dead. It's still outputting audio but no video. So what I did is I just put back the dead PS2 together, and I took the case of the other one because I wanna do something like that. I'll probably do a case mod with a micro PC I have here. I
oh
just stuff it
yeah,
inside.
you wanted to do like a PC mod to it, didn't you?
Mm. Originally, I wanted to put that micro PC in a PS1 case, but uh, something's not working with the with that PS1 case, so I probably put it on the PS2. I'll decide if I wanna go through with using the PS2. But in any case, the other PS2 that's semi dead, I pretty much just put it in storage alongside with the dead one because yeah, they're pretty much just for parts at this point.
You can salvage some of the parts, I think, still.
Yeah, the power supply is working, that I'm sure of. Um, and recently, I just got a working PS2 Fat
Mm-hmm.
from Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I checked it, it's working. It's also modified. And I did a cleanup job on it just before entering this stream. Okay, because it was very dusty, like probably a decade's worth of dust in there. Yeah, I did some proper cleanup for it. It's 75% done. The only top part of the chassis is what needs cleaning. The rest is okay now. I even cleaned the inside of the optical drive. But yeah, here's where things get a little weird. So after putting it together and plugging it in, so everything is working except now there's this loud whirring sound
From the
when the
console.
lens, yeah, mostly from the optical drive when it's trying to seek and read uh when it's trying to read CDs and DVDs. The CDs and DVDs work, but there's this loud whirring sound that probably is because maybe some of the grease got wiped up or there's something I need to work on there. I'll need to look up why that's happening. But for now, at least I'm sure that the optical drives work. And I'd rather not touch it after.
So, what are you planning on doing with that specific uh, hardware?
With the PS2 Fat, after it's cleaned up, I'll be giving it to my friend because I borrowed his PS2 Slim here, and surprisingly, the Slim models work better with loading games from USB. It's faster actually. No stuttering of FMBs, and pretty much the songs and 2DX load quite faster compared to fat models. Probably because the slim models pretty much did away with using the PlayStation CPU as the IO processor. Yeah. But they instead used a PowerPC based Deckard processor, which just emulates part of the PlayStation bits when it's entering compatibility mode. Which is why in the slim models, the PlayStation backwards compatibility was compromised.
Oh, because the hardware wasn't basically up to snuff.
Yeah, because it's not using the PlayStation CPU anymore. It's a processor that will emulate the PlayStation CPU if it needs to.
Wait, emulate, as in within the actual console?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's so there was a how noticeable is a downgrade?
that I do not know because I haven't played any PlayStation games on a Slim. Mostly I played them on Fats. So that I do not know. But I read some things on the PS2 Dev Wiki, and apparently there's some specific flags that will be activated when certain games are detected for to for compatibility. Excuse me, for compatibility.
So for the longest time, you've been using a slim PS2 with an USB attachment to be playing your games.
No, no, just recently when my motherboard, when my fat PS2 died.
Oh, okay, okay. So it was a fat PS2.
Yeah, it's only recently that I borrowed my friend's Slim. And I told him that I really liked how fast it loads, and I asked him if I can have it. And he pretty much said if I can find him a fat unit that has working lens, then we can trade.
Working like optical lens, like the don't use a
Yes,
CD.
yes. And also I ordered uh I ordered online a SATA upgrade kit for the network adapter I have here because, as you know, PS2 network adapters only have IDE,
Mm-hmm.
and no one makes IDE drives these days.
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
all SATA.
Yeah.
So I ordered a SATA upgrade kit, and considering that I will be using a Slim moving forward, I didn't have much of a need for it. So I tried canceling the order, but seller rejected this. Seller rejected the cancellation. So I'll probably
You have
be,
additional parts. You can work with that at some point anyway, I think.
yeah, I'll just use that to upgrade the fat model. So you can plug in an SSD in a PS2.
Oh, that's gonna be like super weird to be
I mean, you
the
don't really
concept.
need an SSD, but SSDs are cheap.
Where well, considering that you can have cheap SSDs and games for the PS2 aren't that large.
Yeah. Wait, sorry. It's not that SSDs are cheap, but 250 gigabyte SSDs are cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you only need 250 gigabytes for most of your games in the PS2.
I actually thought that it was gonna be like 128 gigs.
Then you can go as low as 128. But yeah, I think 250 will suit your needs.
Yeah, for a large enough game collection, 250 is
Hmm.
enough.
Because your other option is playing by USB with your drive formatted to FAT32, in which you will need a certain utility that you'll have to find elsewhere.
Yeah, which
But
is yeah.
yeah, pretty much whenever you're working with PS2, you're working with everything that was in the 2000s.
Including what
There,
PC hardware was needed at the time.
yeah, there's just no getting away from it. The PS3 you can get away with because it's USB 2.0, and yeah, most of it is USB oriented. You can it can oh wait, no, it also had life support up until I forgot what year. But yeah, it extended until the 2010s.
Tell me about sodium. It is an element that the body needs to work properly. Sodium is involved in your body's regulation of both blood